So I'm sure many of you guys have gotten a birthday cake from your friend or from a family member before. Well, one day, a couple years ago, like a few years ago, me and my friend, we went vegetarian, so we don't eat meat. And she was like, man, I really miss eating cheeseburgers. And it was like around the time of her birthday. So for her birthday, I decided to make her a cheeseburger cake. And it looks like this. So today I'm going to tell you how to make it and the steps that you're going to have to go through and what you will need to make it. So you will need 3 8-inch pans, and then so they can all be the same size, or else your hamburger's going to be a little off. And you're going to need a box of white cake for the buns, which are those. And then the middle is not really cake, it's a brownie. So you get both cake and a brownie. And then you will need some cake fondant and food coloring. So first, you make the buns and you have to mix them in a bowl. And then you add 2 eggs, and then the box says to add water, but I don't like to add water because, I don't know, I just don't think it'll taste right, so I put milk instead. But you can use water or milk, it's up to you. And then you put the eggs in it, and you gotta make sure you don't put any of the eggshells. And then you mix it all with oil, and then you put those in the oven. So then while you're baking that, you start making the brownie part. And usually you're gonna have extra because you only need 1 piece. And for the brownies, you need half a cup, 1/4 of a cup of milk, half a cup of vegetable oil, and 2 eggs. So then once you take out the buns, you put the brownie in the oven, and then once that's done, you have to let them sit for a while in order for them to cool down. And then to make the frosting, I use vanilla frosting, and you just add food coloring. Like I use brown and like a little bit of gold in order to get the perfect color for the bun. And then you frost that, and then you make the cheese with the fondant, and it's hard, so you have to like make it soft. And then you add the food coloring to that. So then you have cheese. And then after that, you use green for the lettuce, and the tomatoes, you have to make them all the same size. And for the tomatoes, I like cut little pieces so it looks like a tomato. So you put the pickles afterwards, and then the onion, and then you put the glass bun on top, and then to make it look like a real hamburger bun, you have to add the little seeds. You can see them. So, in conclusion, if you want to make a cake for a friend or just for fun, you can make a cheeseburger cake.
Could I have some?
Yeah.
Brownies.
I mean, I don't have mine.
There you go. This is the brownie.
What is the fondant?
It's like sugar stuff.
Probably have more chocolate.
Get on my
I feel like I'm lucky 5. I'm gonna use this because I'm gonna get one. You have to get Instagram.
What are those seeds?
Okay. Sorry about that. Hold on. The show. You know what I'm talking about? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh.
You want to just take a picture of me actually?
I'll take a picture of before and after.
You didn't know me on that.
Green stuff edible too?
Yeah. Everything. It's like
Hey, what day? What did you use?
For what?
What is it?
It's like really hard frosting made. All the vegetables and the seeds are all baked.
Hey, wait. They're barely
All right, well, you had a little bit of difficulty with the opening, but you got there. The goal was set up adequately. I think you need to break it up into a little bit more structured presentation so that it's not just, kind of the same thing that we had before, and then. Set up a goal, tell us what the stages are going to be, find an interesting way to make those transitions. That'll work a lot more effectively. The description, I didn't understand why you spent so much time describing how to cook the cake for the buns, and then you added, you talked about the fondant as if it was something everybody has in their back pocket and pulls out and uses all the time. That seemed to me to be the thing that was more complicated in putting the cake together to make it look like you have it looking like, and you don't really talk about it that much, so I thought that was a little bit problematic. You've got some good gestures and indicators where you're speaking, but it does get a little distracting watching you wave that paper around, and sometimes I thought you were going to be cutting that cake with that piece of paper when you were pointing at it, like boom, and it was going to be sliced open just like that. So you want to get that out of your hand. You make okay eye contact with the audience, and your facial expressions are okay. Your voice needs to have a little bit more control in the speech. You need to talk up a little bit. You need to put some energy into the presentation. I can hear you, and I know what you're talking about, but it just sounds like you're talking through the presentation. Let me get through this. It's a little bit like you're reciting instead of, I'm the one in control here. I'm giving the speech. I want you to focus on what's going on here, and I think you need to work on using your voice a little more effectively. All right, thank you.